Ever wonder what it's like to live in a cozy New England cottage? Join us as we transform our simple ranch home into a comfy cottage. Each week, we work towards improving, maintaining, and beautifying our home and garden, all on a tight budget.
Hi there.
Hi everyone.
Welcome back to Brambleberry Cottage.
If you're new here, I'm Gina.
I'm Paul.
And we're Brambleberry Cottage. So welcome. So what we're going to do this week?
Decorating for Christmas.
Yes.
Outside.
Again, but
Yes.
Now outside.
Outside
right.
edition, yes.
Right indeed.
Yes, we've done our, the downstairs has been decorated, the upstairs has now been decorated. Except for the Christmas tree, of course.
Except for that, yes.
And now we're moving outside.
We're not moving outside. This guy who loves to camp, he wants to go outside.
No,
we're not
thank you.
moving outside.
It's like 30 degrees out there right now. We are moving our efforts outside to decorate, and it's going to be great. We're doing some garland and some lights and...
So yes, we're going to be working, you're right, on the garland and adding some little features to it. We did make some homemade bells last year, which were exciting, out of some unique objects. We're going to continue with that effort, and we're going to add our pine cones back. We're going to try to change it up slightly
We always
different.
like to do it a little different every year, so yeah.
Keeps it exciting and new and fresh.
Yeah.
But we're going to do that. We're going to warm and cozy up the outside with blankets and pillows and all kinds of... Yes. Oh man. So we're going to be working on the garland and adding some lights, adding a little bit of some surprises here and there. We're going to we try to keep it simplified, but we're still going to make it really nice.
We will, and we like to change it up every year, so it's going to be totally different than last year. Well, in some ways anyway.
Oh yeah, there'll be some familiar things, but we like to make it slightly different every year. So that's our video this week. We're going to be doing that. We have a side porch as well. So basically on our side door, we enter that one a lot. We want to dress that little landing area. It's not really a porch or a deck. It's just like a landing with stairs, but we want to decorate that a little bit. We can't get too bulky because it's a small space, but we want to make it pretty.
So the side in our backyard. We're not doing the front yard yet.
That'll be the following week. So what we're doing this week is just that area. We're going to make it festive and get all, get all holiday-ish. That's just stupid. Get very festive with everything and keep it somewhat simplified, but elegant, of course, as much as we possibly can. We're going to do things on a very strict budget, as we always do. Right now, we just want to do a budget-friendly year this year. One more time before we start, because I think at a point next year we're going to start reinvesting in some items, just because things get worn, things get old and tired, and you get sick of the same things. But there always will be tried and true things that we keep. We're excited to see how it all turns out. We're excited to get into that festive spirit.
Absolutely.
But come and join us and see how we decorate.
If you like this sort of content, please give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. And we'd love it if you could subscribe. It really helps support our channel, and it's completely free to do. And if you're already subscribing, thank you so much. We welcome you to our Brambleberry Cottage family.
Welcome.
Let's do this thing.
Let's do this. Well, here we are decorating the backyard for Christmas. So we have tons of trees on our property that you can see, but we have been thinning them out little by little. A lot of them have lost all their leaves, but we still have pine trees, and this goes way back. So our property, so there's more in the distance from what you see here, but we have thinned out on our hill here a lot. So we're slimming down on the greens, but there was a tree in particular that needed to come down. So it was a white pine, and this is what I had. So I'm going to actually, if you remember last year, I will send links if you're interested in how we did it last year, but I'm going to kind of do it slightly different, but about the same this year. What I'm going to do is build up in clusters, and I'll show you that in a moment. And then I'm going to overlay each cluster so it'll form a garland in the end, but it'll make it nice and thick and fluffy, and it'll really come alive. I'm going to see if I have any faux garland enough left, because I'm limited for what I have left, because we change it up every year and sometimes we end up using it in other places. But I'm hoping to find an extra one, but I want to use that faux garland as a base on the arbor here, and then I'm going to use these to tie. How we're going to tie them is with some rope, but you can use zip ties. That's a great way to do it. I just don't think I have a lot in hand, but all this craziness here is going to be quite a few garlands and some sprays and whatnot. Stay tuned to see how we do this. So I'm happy I found some faux garland. Definitely these are probably the last year of a lot of these faux garlands, because they are really starting to shed a bit and fall apart, but it acts as a base. That's why these are great to have on hand. They're really tough wired, but also they're already together, and some of them nowadays look more realistic. These are much older than that, but they give a good base to get that greenery. You don't want to see holes in things. You want it to look like one continuous fluffy garland. So this is going to start us off. We're going to attach it with rope. That's what we have on hand. So at least for this part. And then as we go further into it, we'll get some twine and we'll really start slowly building. Okay, right now I just wanted to hang it because I wanted to see what the length was like. So I have two of them. I'm doing one on each side, and I'm gonna link them together in the middle. So I'm starting that first. So I just wanted to see how long they were and where they'd end. So I'm happy with where they are, right, attaching them in the middle on the top. And now I'm going to start roping them in. Paul's going to be helping me. They're about 9 feet each. So we have about 18 feet between the two. And it's going to be enough to go through the top and off down the sides. We save a lot of string, which is really important, really tough string. It comes in various forms from various places, and we save it because this kind of stuff comes in handy. I'm imagining it was from some sort of camping equipment or something, maybe our pool, whatever, but we save it because it's strong and tough. So it won't be seen, so we're kind of tying with that. In the future, I'll be getting more zip ties because those are really great for stuff like that, and you can link them together to make them longer and stronger. So we'll be doing that in the future, but right now we're kind of weaving it through the branches. I really want to leave the branches because they are really nice natural element, and I'm going for that natural look. I've been doing that for a while now, for a few years, and I really like that. So we're just kind of winding this around. Paul is putting on the base for me, and together we're going to work on building it up with the real greenery. Yeah, that's giving us that first layer. So I'm just bunching some together. We're going to make like a decent sized bunch and clump them together and tie them. And then once we have a bunch of them, we're going to start layering them, overlapping each other to add like a nice natural garland. Just every now and then just pick it up to see if that's how you like it. And I think that's a pretty decent clump. And the thing is, actually maybe one more. The thing is, once you get a clump that you like, don't be afraid to say later, wow, I would have liked it a little thicker. Because the great thing is, once these are all tied together and they're overlapping, if you have them nicely tied, you can kind of squeeze some in through the bottom, just kind of push it through and try to add a little more thickness. We can do that later. But that's about the thickness I want. And I'll even put it up against to see and go, yep, that's kind of what I want. And it's going to be layered up against. So we have about about 5 or 6 clumps is good. And again, I can add more to it later. Leave just enough of a tip on there so you have something to kind of have as a base to kind of clip them on. When you have clumps like this and they're kind of sparse, save them, because I'm going to be tucking greenery and here and there into some of my decorating later. So I'm going to keep these oddball things where there's like mostly stick and some it's a little more sparse. I'm going to leave this to the side for that. So we're getting to the end of our pile a little bit. We still have much more to go, but we're getting closer and closer. Tons of green, but it's going to be great. We're going to slowly but surely put these garlands up. We're trying to make, we keep going because we're trying to make one for this arbor here in our backyard, one for the entrance to our backyard, and then we want to add to our front door garland as well as some swags and tuck in between here and there. So we're saving scraps when it's real thin. What's really exciting is while we were doing this, like last year, we started seeing some flurries. Last year it really started to pick up snow. Right now it was just a few flurries and it kind of disappeared for now, but it was so exciting, and it really, with our Christmas music on as well, it kind of contributed to the atmosphere that was going on. So it's very exciting. It's becoming a tradition. Paul is lugging up the branches. We have tons of those. So he's been going up and down quite a few times to get all that. But that's the end of the green. We finally got them cut and in clumps and tied together, and we're going to layer. Hopefully, when we put them up, we have enough for both of our arbors. But we'll find out. Otherwise, we're at it again. So we're going to do this soon. We're just waiting for him to get all of these sticks up the hill, and then we'll start layering. So we've been layering, if you could see. I'm hoping I wasn't covering the camera too much, but what we're doing is overlapping them somewhat, and we're tying. I use this very thin jute-like string, and what I like that it's even exposed, because it kind of looks like the grasses and whatnot, and it gives it a little more interest. You might see how it's coming through in certain spots, the string. I really like that. It's very natural, and it just gives it a little layer of something. I may do something later where I might hang pine cones off of those, or I may just leave them as is. But as you can see, we left the grasses in the background mainly for the birds' interest, and also it does add a little bit of natural flair to it. So I'm going to leave that, but it helps the birdies. We're going to show you what we're going to do with how we start to turn. So we're going to go up another layer, and we're going to start to turn on the top. So we started from the bottom on one side up to the top, and now here we are at the very top. What I'm going to do, so we don't see the sticks, I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to layer it like that, and I'm going to let it hang over a little bit, and I'm going to start to tie it from here. Now at the top, we have a long strings hanging. We're using it as, you know, a little bit of decor. For this, just to reinforce it more, I'm going to go around it one more time, just because at the top it almost seems slightly looser. Go one time around again on the other part here. We have one string going around one way, the other string going around the other. It started to come loose, so I'm asking Paul to hold it a little. I'm just maneuvering it around with the sticks to see if I can kind of cover those sticks there. If not, I might have to layer again.
Yeah, you can tuck some in there.
I know. I have some loose ones too that I can kind of fit in there. We wanted to do that. So I'm going to ask Paul to hand me a couple of loose ones just so we can see if that'll do the trick, because they're pretty secure now. So these shorter, thicker ones, just kind of squeezing in there to hide any sticky parts, like anything that's too much like sticks. But I have a feeling we're going to have to really get in there. But I'm dealing with the main structure right now. Then I'm going to thicken it up a bit. But I'll do a little here and there just to see how it's going to be. But I think mainly I just want to do my clusters first and overlap, and then I'll go back over. But there are some that I want to see how they're going to be, because I have some on the ends here that for some reason these just wanted to slip and slide a bit, so it's not covering it like I would have liked to. So I'm going to come over later and really stick in there. one in 2 different places, and I'm going to go in a 3rd place because there's enough string. I kept it really long, but I want to just really secure some that feel a little loose. So here we are at this point, and what we're going to do is we're going to start from the bottom again from this side and work our way up, and then in the middle, when we get to that point, I'm going to show you how we bring it all together, and then we're going to tuck in some more. So we're on this middle part now in the center, and we're going to put one over a little more. We're letting the branches hang a little down, which gives it a really pretty effect. But we're going to do that, and then we're going to have another one going the other way so it hides the sticks. And then we'll see in the center what happens, and we'll figure that out. We might just stuff some in between. So we're going to start with tying this up. So now what we're going to do is these strings hanging, I'm going to hang some pine cones off of them, and then after that's done, I'm going to go over and tuck green where we have some sticks showing, and where it just could use a little thickening up. I will not be using the clumps that we've made. I'll be making more of adding here and there with some loose ones. But first, the pine cones. So now we're cleaning up. I added a little bit tucked in here and there. I didn't want to go too crazy, and in doing that, you can see where we have a little some here, but not as much there. So I'm probably going to kind of tinker with that and finish it off the best I can. But I just added some pine cones. I added those bells that I made last year. I will put a link of how I did that last year. It's basically out of tin cans and some thin, some smaller, narrower pieces of wood and some jute. So, and also I had used a goldish spray paint, and then I used black and brown and whatnot to kind of age it a little bit and make it not bright gold. That's where I have it for now. And like I said, I'm probably going to tuck in some more green here and there. I really like how it came out, and I'm going to just clean up the mess here and try to just fill in some gaps here and there, and then I'll take a quick picture to show you how it all turned out. And yes, it is starting, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, it is starting to flurry a little. It's so pretty. Again, it was doing it earlier. So this is our other arbor here with the garland that we made, and it's plain. It's starting to rain a little bit. Sadly, we missed a lot of the flurries, but when we took a break. But so now it's a little bit later, and it's cooler, and it's rainy, so we're probably going to stop for the day. But if you remember these, I don't know if you can see them. Paul's going to hold them up for me. We had made these. We had picked up for free on the side of the road these lampshades. And what I did was that tarnished bell look to them, and we added the pieces of wood. I can link that for you. There are some strings hanging. It's the best we can do. But what we're going to do is we're going to hang them over, and I like how they're kind of staggered like that. We're going to hang that on that one left side like we did last year, I believe. So it's hard to see with the ladder in the way, so we'll show you in a moment. It's very easy to make bells on just about anything if the shape is right. And I really like this big effect for bells. And all you need is paint and the right shape lampshades. If someone's giving some away that you know of, this is what you can do with them. Tomorrow we're going to come back out and add a few things. I'm going to try before the rain comes back, because it seems like it stopped for a second. I'm going to try to add some more pine cones, but until then I'll show you the rest tomorrow. So I had Paul cut for me these grouping of stumps from the tree we had cut down that needed to be cut down, but we used a lot of the green, and that same pine tree we use this. So we're going to have a sap issue, so we have to be really careful where we put it. But I really like having the group of 3 so I can do like a little arrangement, little cute little, I hate to say vignette, but I guess that would be the best word for it, vignette, where we can set up with some pine cones and greenery, and it'll make that area look really cute. I really want as much as I can of a natural look. We will have elements of silver and glimmery, shiny stuff, but I didn't want to get a lot of new things this year, but next year I think I'm going to be reinvesting and changing things up. But I'm using as much as I can of what I have on hand, and I'll add a few elements here and there. But I love these natural elements from our woods here. Things like tree stumps and pine cones and pine branches and the arborvitae, things like that. I really like using what we can. Even some dried grasses and whatnot. It can really be nice to see that. If you have burlap on hand, that's always cute to add. So we're going to start with arranging these pieces that Paul cut for me. I have a grouping of extra greens here that I'm going to tuck in between, and also some pine cones. Putting these slates down because the new stumps that we're going to put there are full of sap, so we don't want sap on our deck. So we're doing that just as a little protection, and I won't mind it peeking through. So we had some dried hydrangeas. We had cut them for the fall, and what I did was spray them with red. We had red spray paint on hand, and I had that plaid bow that I had gotten from Ocean State Job Lot years ago, and we had a faux garland that I had placed around a wreath frame, I think last year, and all I did was keep that as my basic wreath, and then I placed some sprigs of pine that we had and put everything together, used some floral wire for strength in most of the spots. Some of them, they were strong enough where I could just tuck it in. But that's our wreath for the shed. Simple and inexpensive. So this ball, basically all it was some wired garland that I'm going to say is probably a couple decades old, and I wound it around like in different directions just to kind of get a ball shape. There's nothing under. I was going to do with wire first, make a wire ball, but this, it actually started to hold, and I thought, okay, this could make, it was Paul's idea, and I thought, okay, that would make it a lot easier. So we made like a kissing ball, round shape with some, make sure it's wired garland, and then if you don't have wired garland, you can wrap it around a wire ball, some extra really heavy wire, and you'll need some other wire or floral tape to kind of hold that together, the wire, to make a ball shape. But in this case, I was able to do that. And we had this very strong wire. This was a 16 gauge wire, and basically he had multiple pieces of this and some longer ones. So I used kind of a longer piece, and I brought it down through a hole in the ball that I made, and then I kind of did it like a hook and then hooked it onto the garland itself so it held, and then just kind of moved it around to make sure it has like a nice shape so it wasn't wonky or sideways or crooked or whatever. And then the rest of it, I cut it a little bit longer than it should, and I wanted to wind it around just mainly because I wanted it to be nice and strong and really secure it tight. So I'm doing that, and now we're going to put some fairy lights around it, and then I'm going to finish it off with a bow. So I'm going to have Paul put that on. And these fairy lights, I will send a link at the bottom in the description. They were from Amazon, and they can blink like that. They can do all kinds of different things. They have a remote that comes with it, so that's really great. We're just putting one set of fairy lights on it, but you could, if you wanted to, maybe put 2 sets just so it's a stronger light. They have about maybe 20 lights on them, so they're, it's not a big impact. If you want like a bigger impact, you're going to need to get maybe a bigger set that has more on that, or you can put a couple sets on it. But this is a great way to have garland that I know I'm going to throw out at the end of this year. It's literally a couple decades old, this garland, and it is falling on its last leg. But this is a way to kind of use it up one last time before you throw it out. And I'm going to put a bow at the end. So again, because it's wired ribbon, wired garland, and wired ribbon, but wired garland, I was able to kind of pull it onto another piece of garland and kind of hook it, because I couldn't find the hook. My mistake was that I should have done, when I had the hook sitting out, I should have worked that first, just so I had the ribbon here onto something more stable. Okay, and then with a little ribbon hanging down, I think I would have probably in the future, if I do it again, which I think I will, with a better group of greenery, what I think I'll do is a longer ribbon. But this is one I had on hand. I wasn't going to use it for anything else, and it was small, but I think it works for the kissing ball. And normally I think I'm going to have one that goes a little longer next year, where the ends will really hang down much, much lower. But I think it's really cute. So originally I was going to do these branches that I had, spray paint the branches gold. And then don't mind the traffic, folks, sorry about that. I was going to spray paint it with gold and leave some of the greenery. And then how to do it? Well, I stuck it into the bed, and I didn't want anything toxic in the soil. But I really liked, mainly, the strawberry plants have a natural red and green thing going on, so it kind of was Christmassy, and I really like the natural look anyway, so I've decided to kind of stick with that. So I'm going to do that, and then I may add some snowflakes in there. I may not. I really like this natural look. See, nature looks so beautiful on its own, so sometimes you just want to leave things the way they are. I'm going to add a couple more sprigs. And there you go, a very simple, basic thing. Again, I really like the colors coming through naturally with the reds, and then the green from the pine branches, and the strawberry plants mixed in with it with the red and green. I think I want to just keep it very natural. So this obelisk we had in our secret garden, and we're very excited to have multiple purposes for it. So what's great about this is it has a Christmas tree shape, so it's really cool. This is something Paul had made a couple of summers ago, which, if you remember that video, we had a challenge between Paul and I, and he made a beautiful obelisk for our secret garden area. So now we're wrapping it in lights here, and we moved it to in front of the shed because we really want to be able to see it from the kitchen window. The secret garden is really closed off for this time of year, and it's not, and it's secret. It's right. It's not used as often, so because of that, it really wasn't showing its potential, and it really looked like a pretty Christmas tree. So here we go, and I think it's going to look so pretty in the evening, looking out the window and seeing it wrapped around like a Christmas tree. pretty bird. I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's off in the distance with a lot of traffic noises, but it's so pretty.
Thank you, Garland.
Look how cute that is. And these stars, one year we had in our town, we had kind of a contest going on, and we went a little crazy with the decor. We don't normally have shiny tinsely stars, but it looked really beautiful at night. Slightly tacky in the day, but at night it's absolutely beautiful. And we had that in our front yard, but we decided to place them in our veggie bed here, one of our newer raised beds from this year. And at night it looks really pretty. So we have this obelisk tree. Look how cute. And our stars, along with, we had shown you here, we have some finishing touches, but so far we're getting along here. And then we have the wreath. This table here, we just placed yesterday. I just put some faux garland, again using the garland, and it was wired. So I had done a couple of, one that wasn't wired over it, so it's different pieces of green. It's okay, it's a novice thing. It's not something I'm super skilled at, but you can do it on very little skill and very inexpensive if you have it laying around. So you can also do it if you have a frame, or you can make a frame and a wreath frame of some kind, and you can do it with real garland. This is just something I'm trying to use up one last year, so with a faux garland. I also had these silvery stems that I had gotten from Dollar Tree, gosh, maybe a couple years ago. So I wanted it to just give a little impact in that area. Over in the corner over there, we have a bird cage that Paul had picked up. I don't know if it'll last through the winter, but I thought it was really cute, so I wanted to place it outside. I'm going to attempt to put some kind of greenery behind it just to bring it to life, and I may, what I'm probably going to do is do one of the fairy lights around it to light the house, so I think it'll look really pretty at night. It'll just light that corner up and make it look really cute. And then we have our Christmas ball here, our kissing ball, and then here, we still have work to do here. We have the logs here, and we have some faux trees here in this raised bed that we had put up this year. And right here, I just want to, on the hooks on each side of the windows here, I really want to place some sort of more Christmas balls or some sort of swag with bows or bells. I'm still deciding, but I have some work to do on that. And then, as you know, we've done our arbors. We have over here in the corner, we have some logs and the stumps there, tree stumps, and of course this beautiful area here. Also on the window here, I've thrown in a couple of those snowflakes, but it definitely needs something more. So I'm definitely going to add some sort of, I'm going to try to look for some large Christmas balls. I might have to wrap all this stuff up today just because the holiday is coming. I don't think I'll have time to finish before the end of the video to do too much more, but I just wanted you to see all the things we had done. And I think there's just more work to do. So next week, what we're going to do is do the front yard. We're going to do the front patio, the window boxes, and we'll show you all the lights around. And I think what I'll do is I'll take you back here again and show you the last of our little touches. But hopefully you enjoyed what we did do. We hope that if you like this video, that you place a thumbs up and let us know that you like this type of video. Also, if you can, we would really love it if you would subscribe. It really helps support our channel. We thank you so very much for being here as part of our Brambleberry Cottage family. We're so grateful for you, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you next week. So I was playing around with it, deciding what to do. So I decided to make out of these Dollar Tree pieces of garland. Very cheapy. So I took 2 of them and kind of wrapped them around. They have a light wire on them, so you can kind of twist them around. And I had a little bit of a segment of gold ribbon, so I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. So I did that, and there's some little spaces of the birdhouse, so I was able to just tuck it in there. But I'll probably take a zip tie or wire or something just to secure it tighter. And then just a little piece of ribbon just held. I'm not even going to put a bow on it, just to dress up that little spot. And I'm going to place some fairy lights around it, just to kind of brighten this whole area by the pond up.